on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
So I really I plan to do something different than what we're gonna do today, based off it just being me. So I just wanted to give a little bit of. Why are you looking at me like that? You looking at me like you wanna? No, I'm just. So thank you. No, so I just wanted to give a little bit of backstory on this fine new comic book that I have created, along with Jamie Rochelle, Leo Stevens. And I had Rodney Velches, my colorist in the Philippines. He colored. Matthias Zanetti is my Argentinian letterer. So, we touched 3 whole different continents with this one, baby.
Look down now. Cover your face.
Cover my face?
I said you're covering your face.
I want to cover my face. So, yeah, how it started. During the pandemic, I think I was telling y'all a little bit about this, but during the pandemic, I was approached, these guys asking me would I be interested in writing a comic. I was like, sure, what's it about? And they was like, oh. So from there, I was like, well, let's get in the lab. My favorite part, I think, is coming up with the idea, coming up with the story, building the world. This one wasn't hard. We chose the city of Oakland to be our main backdrop, the Bay Area as a whole. So world building was different because it's current times. Then we started putting together the team. So Leo, it was his idea, and he wanted to put his daughter Kayla in a comic. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, that's fine. So then we came up with May, which is a character based on somebody else that he knows. But from there, it was we got 2, let's round it out. Let's have 4 main, superhero characters. So we added Jada and Bailey around the same time. And I'm always interested in doing different things. So where Jada would kind of be considered a plus size, I was like, her superpower is going to be super speed and, agility, quickness, that kind of stuff. Bailey's tiny. Shout out to the tiny people in the room. And so I don't know what that sign means. And then, Bailey, her power is super strength. So she's I don't know if y'all remember Mighty Mike, the cartoon. You probably don't because you were in diapers, but us older people. So I was always a fan of Mighty Mike because it's this little bitty termite or whatever it was, and he was strong as the Hulk or whatever. So I thought that would be fun. Kayla she's got energy redistribution powers, so she can absorb energy, send it back out, And then May, who's a super duper genius, but she might have some technopathy in her future.
Some what?
Technopathy, the ability to control technology, with her mind. So I thought that was a fun little touch, especially for somebody who's already genius level. Her brain is a super duper duper computer. So yeah, we started there. We were let's come up with a council. So basically, without giving too much away, but there's a council that kind of oversees these kids because they're between the ages of 14 and 16. Excuse me. But the council is made up of their parents. And so their parents are successful in different ways. Some might be military, some might be, medical, but it's this wise council that's, kind of checking to make sure their daughters are safe while they explore these powers that they have. So yeah, once we came up with the team, I was like, okay, that's cool. So the way I usually work is once I get the team, get the backdrop, then we can move on to like what do we want this first issue to be about? Excuse me. Excuse me. I like to plan out, like between 4 to 6 issues for the first run, so then I can be more clever with my storytelling. I can drop little, Easter eggs here in, here out, hints, all that good stuff. So we did that, and then it was just a process, and it did take some time. Jamie it was the first time he, penciled and inked a comic book. He realized that it's difficult. It's like, even if you're good at drawing, like one of the things I always get people to understand is like with a comic, sometimes you could be drawing like 7 different images on one page. So that's a lot, when you compare it to like a children's book where you might draw 1 image on a page. So it did take some time. We were kind of like growing together, because even though I've been through this process several times, it's still like the team that you're doing it with is always going to be, it's going to be a motivational factor. So we took some time, got the art done, and then that's when we brought in my guy Rodney Velchez, who's colored on Tuskegee Heirs. He's colored on The Search for Sadaka, The Story of Solace. Like, he colors on a lot of stuff for me. Even Swim Kelly Swim, my most recent children's book, he colored. He's also coloring with Marcus on the Popeye series right now. So Rodney's kind of, I don't say he's our guy, but he's one of our go-to guys. So he came in, and he just, he's so fun because he has many, many different styles. And he's like, you want me to do my style? What kind of style you want? So I showed him some examples of the kind of style that I wanted, and he just went in. I don't know if you guys can see this really well, but he just went in and like really rocked it out. I wanted like vibrant colors, not too vibrant, not super pastel or anything, but just I just wanted it to be bright and sharp. And I think that he kind of knocked that out the park. And me and Jamie, we explored the template, like the color palette before, so we were able to kind of give Rodney some direction on it. But when he got a hold of it, he really took the book to another level. I tell people a lot of times, like, stuff that I've learned, over the years, coloring and lettering can sometimes make or break your book. I've seen colorists make great art look bad. I've seen it. I'm not gonna say names, but there's one of my favorite inkers. I've seen people try to color his stuff and just be like, bro, you just do it black and white, man. It was better when it was black and white. So I usually use a guy named Davison Manis. He's from Brazil for lettering. But he had just finished a project for me, and he was like, man, I'm locked up right now. But he gave me some names. And so I looked at the guys, and I was like, okay, Matthias, I really like, how he letters. And had a quick talk with him and everything. And I was like, you want to do a test page? Like, see how it goes? He did a test, and he killed it. And so I was like, yep. That's my letterer. Like, if you go back and look, like at my first issue of The Search for Sadaka, like you'll see, and the person that lettered that, she's a wonderful person. She also colored, but she wasn't a letterer. She just learned how to do it when she was in college. So I was like, go ahead. I love to give, black women money. So, but yeah, there's some spots where there's like extra space. Yeah, even if you look at Tuskegee Heirs, there's a couple of spots where the letters look a little pixelated sometimes. So I really have been like, I want to hire guys that's their job. That's what they do and these guys, they do not just lettering for little old me, but they do it for big publishers and mid-level publishers and everything. So we got Matthias to, come in with the lettering, and he knocked it out of the park. All I had to do after the art came back is write a script. And so I was able to look at all the art, and it was crazy because I was writing, finalizing the script, and I was like, I think we need another page. So I had to hit Jamie up and be like, I need one more page because there's a scene that needs to be wrapped up. And so he did that. He probably called me names behind my back, but he knocked that out. And from there, we started the next part, getting it printed. So we printed up at the end of November, I think we printed out 500 books real quick just to see what would happen. And we put them online. And this is why it's good to have hustlers on your team. Because Leo, the guy that, came up with the idea in the first place, he went nuts. I don't know if he reached out to every single person he ever met in his life, but we sold out our first print run in a weekend. Yeah, it was gone. So we're like, that's interesting. So from there, we decided to do a Kickstarter, just because it's take advantage of the Kickstarter market a little bit. But we just did it for, we weren't trying to get, $1 million. We just wanted enough to do a healthy print run. And so we ended up raising almost $5,000, but that's plenty of money to get, between 1,500 and 2,000 books. So the books are ordered and they should be here next week. So I can start sending them out to anybody that may have pledged and supported the Kickstarter. Dana pledges and supports everything. I had an argument at BlurredCon with somebody because he was like, man, I've been with you since day one. I was like, your name isn't Dana Morgan. Chill, buddy. Chill. You ain't even from where I'm from, So, yeah, but we everybody in here is super supportive of all the stuff, and I thank you guys for that. But yeah, so that's where we are. Just waiting for the books to come so I can get them turned right back out, because it's annoying to me when it takes longer than it should. So I know it could be equally annoying for the people that are actually spending their hard-earned money on the projects. With that, right now we're selling a lot of books in the Bay Area. I'm kind of taking my efforts, nationwide at this point, because I sent this book. If anybody out there, that's one of the people I sent it to. I sent this book to haters, before I published it. I send it to people that I know are super critical, that don't have any problem telling you I ain't feeling it. And I was surprised because I kept getting really good responses back. And so I feel I already felt confident. You know how you do something and you yeah, this one of them ones. I felt like that with the book, but now it's time to push it as far as we can and see how the world looks after it. I think that I've had the pleasure of doing some stuff with DC Comics and with other publishers, and as much as I love to do that, I don't know who's making stuff that from the major publishers, who's making stuff that actually resonates to middle grade and teenage, black girls. Stuff where they can see themselves in it, where they're seeing, they see problems that they actually see, in their daily life. But also is something that is empowering, that can, we saw it with Tuskegee Heirs. I've seen it with the Search for Sadaka, where you have people that are man, this book, it inspired me to want to tell my stories. There's a dude that came earlier, I'm not gonna say names, I don't like to name drop, but he's one of my favorite artists from the Atlanta area, hip hop. And he was telling me he saw my Superman story, and he was that inspired me to do stuff that I always wanted to do, you know? And so it's like, you know, inspiration comes a lot of different ways, but that's part of what we wanted to do. If you guys don't know, like Oakland, they lost the Raiders. The Raiders went to Las Vegas. The 49ers moved years ago. They were in the Bay Area. Now they're in Santa Clara. The Warriors moved out of Oakland. So it's like that. If you've ever been to Oakland, it feels like it's a lot of us there. You know? And so it seems like all these places moving out, it seems like high scale gentrification, you know? So they're lowering the properties and all of that. So Oakland kind of needs something right now. And I've been told that by people in Oakland, so people are rallying behind the book, and that makes me super happy because I pretty much make stuff for my people. Anybody else can enjoy it. I'm not like, oh, you can't. But I know who my target audience is, and so if it can help inspire, whether it's art or writing or hopefully not vigilante superheroism, we don't need any of that. But just just making sparks, creating sparks that could help a city out. That feels good to me. I actually have to go out there next month for this little event. I'm trying to get a couple more events, so it's not just a one-time thing.
You said your comic takes place in Oakland?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use real locations?
Yeah. So we had two creators, the artist and I call him the producer because none of it happens without him. They were born and raised in Oakland. So we mix it. So like we have the Fox Oakland Theater in here. The book is called Bridges, and we have the Bay Bridge is like it's part of our logo, and the story starts on the Bay Bridge. So we're definitely looking to kind of personalize it to the city. Like one thing I learned from Little Rock Files, which I was choosing to like not necessarily over personalize, and one of my friends who's from Little Rock, he's like, man, this is great, but you need to add more Little Rock into it. And so he's like been telling me like his uncle owned a restaurant, and so it's like now I'm gonna have that. That's kind of like the hangout spot for my my tag team superstar people. So adding those extra elements because I get it. I was trying to do something where I didn't want to like offend. So another one of my friends from Little Rock, and she was giving me information, but it's like kind of a because the story is kind of based off some real stuff that was happening, so I didn't want to like apply it too much. But I got the people in Little Rock that's like, some more Little Rock. So I'm like, I can do that, So yeah, we're definitely doing that with Bridges.
Are you going to be able to put Bridges on like Comics Plus and stuff?
I can. I got to talk to them because he said please. So her question, if anybody heard, if anybody didn't hear, was, are we going to be able to put it on Comics Plus? Comics Plus is it's a really cool thing. It's basically like a digital library, and like different schools actually get an account with them, so their kids can read our books digitally. So we have Tuskegee Heirs on there, and nice amount of people are reading the books, and it's good. It's not a ton of money for us, but when you're talking about Title IX schools and schools that don't have like the huge budgets, I'm fine because that's what we made the book for, is for people to read it. One of the worst things we get is like, yeah, I got the book, but I never read it. I put it in a case. And so. I'm like, nah, man, we wrote that so you could read it. Like that was the whole point. So, but yeah, Comics Plus has been great. And they already want me to put Sadaka on there, so I'll probably put Bridges as well. I'm sure. Well, so they came to us in the beginning, like years ago, like before they were like putting a lot of stuff on there. So yeah, we're always in contact. So Moni, who has always been our main contact, we met her years ago, but I finally met Guy, who is, our other main contact, met him face to face in New York. They're awesome people. He was like, come on, give us more stuff. I think we can do that. So, what time is it? I'm just running my mouth. Anybody else have any questions? Or you don't want me to keep going?
Is there any thought in turning this into like an animated series?
There's always thought of turning everything we do into animated series. Animation is just, it costs a lot. We're also seeing, I don't know if you've seen, but we constantly see, indie creators and some mainstream creators that'll get tapped and they'll get an option for a movie or a series or whatever, and then it never comes out. We don't want to play that game with Hollywood. Like when we were shopping Tuskegee Heirs, our agent that we were with, he was walking into rooms saying, we're not looking for no options, we're not looking for none of those deals. We want a production deal, we're trying to get this made. So that's kind of, I know it sounds uppity from somebody who ain't got no money, because this stuff costs a lot. But yeah, it's definitely a game that you have to navigate, because what they will do, not always, but what we see them do a lot is they'll option somebody's thing. They'll have it, for like when you option, it could be set for 6 years, let's say, right?
Nobody else can do anything.
Nobody else can do anything. You can't pursue other deals with it. It's just sitting there. And then sometimes, like something that's going to be coming out soon, the people that were tapped to work on it, they look at your idea and they're like, that's cool, but I can do something similar, but probably in their mind better or more efficiently, whatever. And so then a movie's going to be coming out that looks like another movie, looks like another property, and that property was just shelved. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is real time, and these are people that I know that I'm cool with. And this is just my speculation. They haven't told me that, but I kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Is it Ryan Coogler from Oakland?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
No, yeah. So the cool thing is, my guys, we're all basketball players. They played basketball in Oakland. They grew up, so they know a lot of, they know, I can call you today. They know a lot of guys that are in entertainment, that are former athletes, NBA players, all that stuff. So, yes, Ryan Coogler is from that area, and there might be some calls being put into him as well. But my thing is with him, I don't know. We could do live action, but animation would be the number one goal.
He could expand into animation.
I'm okay with that, as long as he. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of those guys out there. There's a guy out there. Well, he does a lot of stuff out there, and went to school out there, that grew up here, that played at the same park that I coached at. That I was watching him play when he was 7. He's now an NBA, superstar. So, there's connections, but it's like you just want to be able to get in the room with guys and talk and see, because this isn't just it's not just like an entertainment thing. I think it's funny, from what I heard anyways. People think it's funny, and but it's also serious. It's like a good blend. But yeah, it's more than just entertainment. So yeah.
For this comic, are y'all visioning this as a one-off or this becoming a series?
Definitely a series. Actually a world. So you'll go through this first issue and you'll see that there's a lot more that's going to be coming from it, other characters that can spawn their own book. So I really got interested, especially doing the Milestone initiative with DC Comics. I really got interested in trying to build a contained world with not just one, with Tuskegee or Sadaka. It's those are one-offs in the world. And in this, like maybe being able to build like a whole world where we have different properties coming out, and kind of take over the world with it.
When you said that your agent went in to speak with the folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you have attorneys, was it a team, or just one person?
So in this situation, the team that we came, again, I won't name drop, but a celebrity that we all grew up watching probably since we were kids, she found us, and she thought we were the greatest thing since sliced bread. And so she was, she reached out to us on the internet, and we talked to her, and then she was like, I want you guys to talk to my agent, who we didn't, we don't know nothing, but he's like a super agent, like the kind of guy that can, like, would call and say, hey, you guys want to talk to Netflix on Monday? And we'd be like, yeah. And then he would call back an hour later and be like, all right, we're going to talk to Netflix at this time on Monday. He's like that kind of guy. So yeah. But we do have, like, I have a trademark attorney, and we have an attorney that just like can look over contracts. I was working in finance for a Fortune 500 company for like almost 19 years. There was a year where my whole job was just editing like our legal documents. So I can read legalese to a decent, like I'm pretty good with it, but I still have somebody that can come in and check the therefores and all that stuff just to make sure.
When your agent went to how long ago was that? 5 years ago?
It was, I want to say like 2018.
Oh,
18.
Because a lot of that has changed, right? You can't really know that people are not looking for that.
No, you can still do it. Like, we chose to like pull back based off of some of the stuff that happened. We had a verbal deal, and then I don't even know if it's shady or if it's just what Hollywood does, but the person that we had to deal with ended up leaving the company and going somewhere else, and then popping up a year later like, hey, I want to pitch you guys to blah, blah, blah. And we're like, whoa, we thought we had a deal. What in the heck? So, yeah, it's the business is, just from what I've seen, it's very murky, and like a lot, like I guess I'm able now to look at it and understand better, like the goings on. So we see like shenanigans and all this stuff happening, and it's like, but it's kind of normal for them. Yeah. So
Those that missed the Kickstarter and is interested in checking out the comic, how can they get a copy?
So you can go to my website to get a copy, platforml7.com. I have platform L7, like the letter L, and then 7.com. You can also come to the table. I got a few left. You can just buy it there. But yeah, so like I said, right now I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but this is our alternate cover. I got a sticker for everybody that came today too, except for James. And so, like the alternate cover is on its way also. You can pre-order that now, and you can order the main cover is up.
The alternate cover was done
by Asia Simone, who is fantastic. She
Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah. She illustrated the Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur graphic novel. When I asked her to do this one, I was like, how busy are you? She's like, I'm pretty busy. I was like, what are you working on? She's like, I'm not allowed to tell you. And I was like, so tell me anyway. And so I think she just finished a regular show comic book, or graphic novel, one of those, and then a My Little Pony. So I just think, so if you've ever met her, she's just a sweet, wonderful sweetheart. But she's super talented too. And so she was like, I'll have like a 1 week period to get it done. But she got it done, like she hit the deadline, sent it out, and it's definitely been a hit. I especially love it. I asked her you won't be able to see this, but if you come to the table, I have a poster of it. I asked her to put a Ricky Henderson jersey on Kayla, who's the leader of the team. Ricky Henderson had just recently passed away. He's one of my favorite baseball players, and he's like a superhero. He played for the A's, he played for the Yankees, he even played for the Mariners a little bit, but yeah, he was an amazing baseball player, so I wanted to kind of pay homage to him, and I know he means a lot to the Bay Area, so I've had people like ironically, somebody at BlurredCon last weekend was like, dude, I can't believe you put it. I love Ricky Henderson, and like was just going crazy, so I thought that was cool. But I love the cover. It's bad because Asia gave me like 5 different layouts, and she was like, pick which one you like the best, and I was like, I can't. So I had to get the whole team involved, and we had to draw straws and play rock, paper, scissors, and do everything we could to figure out which cover we wanted because they were all so good. So I was like, yeah, probably for the next book, we're going to use this one and just, run it back with her. But yeah, she was definitely a pleasure to work with. If you see any of her stuff on the stands, please buy it because she's young, she's hungry, and very professional.
And she will be at MomoCon.
And she will be at MomoCon.
Yes.
MomoCon. We're all going to be there, right?
Oh, yes.
Good. I can't wait. I'll have another new book by. I wish you would not. And I got another book that'll be out by Momo too, so it's cool.
Can you give us a little taste of what that will be?
Yeah, but I left the poster on the table. Maybe I could ask my brother to bring it real quick. Does anybody? Do you know M. Shai Dash? She was at my convention at Atlantic Comic Con.
She was at one of the Artist Alley?
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, she's a fantastic writer, and she wrote a short story. She asked me to read it and see if we could, make it into a comic. So I read it and I was like, no, this needs to be like 4 to 6 issues worth of comic. And so she got excited, and we just been cranking. We're almost done with that one. I have Taya and Tahila Ankam, who did The Search for Sadaka, the last issue. They're the ones, they're doing all the art, pencils, inks, and colors. And they're coloring like the last half of the book right now. So, but it's cool. So M. Shai says it's a Cli-Fi action, like, so instead of sci-fi, it's like, because it has to do with like climate, like there's some climate issues. So it's really cool. I'm trying to figure out how much I'm allowed to give away. We got this young, badass superhero lady who's all about the business. This book's going to be a little bit different. It's definitely for older people. There may be a little bit of gore, blood, and, things of that nature. So I'll definitely put it on a different section of my table. I'll put it with Little Rock Files probably. But I think it's a really good story, and I'll be happy to see the world get a hold of it. I'm trying to see if my brother can bring me that poster real quick. That's not how you spell Furious. So while I'm waiting, see if he can do that. So we're making a push, trying to get it into schools and like different organizations. I've been having certain organizations are buying like bulk orders. Bulk orders make your heart sing as a self-publisher, because that's a hard thing to do. So, but we've been getting some of those, and I really feel like the book has like a lot of legs. especially as we introduce other characters and then spin off in other directions. And I'm having fun, like building all of that out with that intent to really have like a cohesive like story going. And maybe it doesn't all take place in Oakland. Maybe some of it takes place in Atlanta or Atlanta, you know what I mean? Oh, here's the poster. I don't know. Can y'all see that?
Nice. Is that a jellyfish?
It's an alien, but I will not say that the Man of War jellyfish didn't have like some influences there. Yeah, we had fun because we were like trying to figure out how to design these creatures that she had already written out. But that's always the fun part, is like those little things, you know. But yeah, that's a big bad alien right there. And I don't know if you can see, but down low there's little silhouettes. It's dark, but there's silhouettes of other
Small aliens.
Yeah. But the story is fun, I'm not gonna lie. But it is definitely rated R. If books were rated. yeah. Like, hide your children on this one.
I have to say, like, a lot of stuff that I read tends to be young adult. And the story is great, but everything only goes so far. Somebody gets punched or slapped or something like that. And it's like, oh. And then, like, they hold in hands. And I'm like, ah. So, adult. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is all the stuff that I've never done before. Like, all of it. Like, in Little Rock Files, I had an implied sex scene. Like, we show you the beginning and then we show afterwards. But like, as far as like explicit stuff, like this one, it's definitely some gore. Definitely gonna be a little bit of blood here and there. It's all the way for adults. Like, don't bring the babies nowhere near it. Nowhere.
So with this, and now with you also dabbing your foot in with Little Rock Files, and now you're kind of going more into the adult arena, would we be seeing more adult-themed comic series and books coming from you alongside with your other series?
It's possible. Right now I'm writing I'm doing 2 graphic novels for a publisher. They're all ages type stuff, so it's going to be more in the line of Tuskegee and Sadaka. But I don't have, like, I know people are like, man, you need to figure out what your lane is. And I'm like, my lane is writing. Like, I have a movie script that I'm working on that's it's basically a retelling with some extra drama of my first time going to the Bayou Classic in New Orleans. But it was a great time. Some of the stuff in the movie that's gonna look like it was fake actually happened. More of the fake stuff is like, you know, adding like some love, tension, like drama type stuff. But it's, huh?
You lost somebody for 2 days.
Listen, I slept 45 minutes in 4 days at the Bayou Classic. I don't want to tell all of it. I just know, like, the story is nuts. And all the nuts stuff is really stuff that happened. But, like, I just have, like, a wide range of stuff that I want to do. And I think as long as none of it, I don't think anything I've done is gimmicky, like, let me do this because I know this is the kind of thing that people would like. What I've learned, you guys know what intersectionality is, right? So I see it every convention that I'm at. When people come up to the table, they see like young ladies that are not naked on a cover. It's like 75% of people are automatically turning away. Like, you have men that won't buy a comic with girls in it for their sons.
Just because they're covered.
Well, it's a mix. So they're black, they're female, they're not naked. So it's like you're dwindling down. There's a certain amount of people that aren't going to buy a comic, especially an indie comic with black people in it. And then you got the next step. Like I said, there are men that they're not going to buy a comic for themselves if there's no naked women in it. Like if there's girls but they're not naked, I'm not condoning it. I'm just telling you what happened.
I guess I love seeing me and us and stuff so much that to me it just makes no sense that I wouldn't buy it just because.
Dude, I see it with my children's books. So if a man comes up with his son, he has no problem buying Broken Glass or Swim Kelly Swim. Those both feature boys. If a man comes up with his daughter, he'll push them towards Grandpa's Shoes, the one with the girl in it. It's so rare that you'll see, like, even a woman can come up with her son, and the son can be like, I want this one. And they grab Grandpa's Shoes, and they'll be like, yeah, look at these over here, So it's like, people are pushing, it's a weird thing.
It's
like,
G.I. Joe and Barbie all over again.
Right. Actually, I had an older sister, and if I wanted to play, sometimes I had to play Barbies. Like, that's just what it was. It didn't make me, it didn't change the makeup of who I was or any of that stuff. But yeah, it's a real thing. So, like I say right now, the hardest sells, are Sadaka. Not because people, once they read it, they love it. And they yell at me just like, when's the next one? And people, so far we've had really good feedback with this, but the numbers are what they are. I see it at cons all the time. So I'm not stressing about it, but it's like something that, it's a mission that I don't mind taking on, But yeah, I just expect to see a wide range of things, still going. Hopefully DC will be hitting me up again soon, and I can keep that going. But the two things that I'm working on right now are kind of lifetime dream type stuff. So I'm happy about that. I was getting ready to quit and just go get a job again because I like regular checks. I don't like hunting for my food all the time. But then these people called me and they was like, hey, how you feel about doing a graphic novel? I was like, yes. And then he told me what it was and I was like, yes. And then I sent in the pitch for it and it was like, okay, this is great. And then they were like, emergency meeting. We have an emergency meeting. So he hits me up and he's like, how would you like to also do a graphic novel about this? And I'm like, yes. And so now I'm doing both of those, and that's probably why I look so sleepy. But they're huge. I can't really, publicize them yet, but of course you guys will be some of the first people to know when I'm allowed to talk about them. I don't know how long we're supposed to be in here.
To 4:50.
Okay, so anybody have any more questions? Because I break rules.
Discovering you, how can they follow you and also purchase stuff?
So go to America's Most Wanted website. No. So I am Greg Burnham. You can go on Greg_Burnham, BURNHAM, and the number 7 on Instagram. I think I'm that on Blue Sky, even though they log you out too much. Or maybe that's just me. That's just me?
Yeah.
Forget y'all then. Yeah, and then we have Tuskegee Heirs everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The search for Sadaka is on Instagram and Facebook. Bridges is on Instagram and Facebook.
Is it Bridges Comic? Bridges.
It's like Bridges Comic Books, something. I can't remember. There's too many of these things. I'm only one man.
That's why you need to just get on the link tree and have everything.
I do. I have one. Go to my link tree on IG.
It's Bridges_comic_book on Instagram.
There you go. I don't know why that had to happen like that.
What are your Blue Sky again?
I think it's the same as my IG. Greg_Burnham7. Wow, you're not following me on Blue Sky?
I'm not following a lot of people.
I'm not worried about a lot of people. I'm talking about me.
I forgot.
Oh, I care about a lot of people. I hardly go on Blue Sky. I keep dropping the ball. I'm having fun on Threads. Anybody do Threads?
I try, but
It's like Twitter without the smut. Sorry if some people don't like it without the smut, but it's like Twitter without the tomfoolery and shenanigans.
I've got the apps for the others, but I wanted to install Threads, but when I saw all the personal data it wanted, I was like, I'm not putting this on my phone.
You're supposed to do like everybody else and not pay attention to how much data they. You're smarter than everybody else, and you refuse to come down. What happened?
All you had to do was put a dab of blood in the speaker on your phone, and it got all your data. It was real quick.
That's fair about the data, I guess.
Like I was looking at, like it wanted my shopping information. Like, why does Threads need my shopping and my call log information? Why do you need that?
I don't talk to nobody on the phone.
But no, like every time I get a new app, I go look at like the data that it wants, and I'm like, why do you need my call log for Threads?
It's a good question.
So no,
That makes sense.
so that's why I don't.
Makes
Go back to
perfect.
the old days of like writing chain letters and folding them over.
I want to go back to the days of
Smoke signals.
Check yes or no.
Yes,
That's
the
what-
original dating app.
There you go.
I was a pretty successful mode of hollering for me, I'm not gonna lie. Check, yes.
Making mixtape.
Check. Mixtape king right here. I used to have dudes asking me to make mixtapes for them so they could give it to girls. Then I found out they was lying and saying they're the ones that made it. So I'm like, you don't deserve my talents. Are we still recording?
Yes.
Dang it. I didn't say anything that was classified, I don't think. But yeah,
It's good to let you know for each other.
I'm pretty sure you can come up with something better than that. But yeah, I think that's it. If anybody had any other questions, I will answer them. You also can come to the table and we can talk over there also.
God bless. Good night.
God bless. Good night. Go home.
Man, life is rough. I was like, yeah, I can do 2 graphic novels at the same time. And now that I'm doing them, I'm like,
You got this.
I can. The writing part is not hard. It's the planning and the research that's driving me nuts.
Being that you've got all these multiple projects going on, do you ever find ideas from one project kind of slipping into another as you're working on it?
I found a couple of times like kind of philosophies of how I do things had kind of slipped, and it's like there's a certain part, it's like, okay, that could be a signature, but I definitely don't want it to feel like, oh, he just took that from here to there, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, no, it can happen inadvertently, but that's just how it is. It's like usually with ideas, when I come up with an idea, I'll like wait like maybe a week or 2 and then go back and look at it again so I can figure out if I stole that idea from something that I've seen. You know, because when you're consuming media, like sometimes stuff just kind of subliminally, you know, drops in. So, yeah. In some ways, it's good though, because it's like, and the 2 things that I'm writing the graphic novels that I'm writing right now, they're not for the same thing, but they're in kind of a similar lane. So it's like I'm like locked into like this vibe thing that I got going right now. So it's cool in that kind of instance.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.